Narrator. Hello and a very mindful welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. In our quest for physical well-being, mental clarity, and emotional balance, there's an ancient practice that has blossomed globally, offering profound benefits for body, mind, and spirit: yoga. Far from being just a series of stretches, yoga is a holistic discipline, a journey inward that connects movement with breath, strength with flexibility, and presence with peace. Perhaps you've considered trying it, seen serene practitioners, or felt the subtle pull towards a more harmonious way of being. But where does one begin? How can a complete novice navigate the postures, terminology, and philosophy without feeling overwhelmed? Today, we're not just discussing yoga. We're breaking down its foundational principles and practical entry points for anyone curious to start. Prepare for an incredibly accessible and encouraging conversation between Maya, a seasoned yoga instructor with a passion for guiding newcomers, and Sam, a curious beginner ready to take his first steps on the mat. Their dialogue will not only enrich your English comprehension and vocabulary related to wellness and physical activity but also equip you with the confidence and practical insights to embark on your own transformative yoga journey. So, find a comfortable seat, breathe deeply, and let's explore the beautiful, accessible world of yoga for beginners. Maya. Sam, it's wonderful to see you here, curious about starting yoga. Many people are intrigued but feel intimidated. What are your initial thoughts or perhaps your biggest reservations about trying yoga for the first time? Sam. Maya, thanks for having me. Honestly, I'm quite intimidated. I see people doing these incredibly flexible poses, and I feel like I'm not strong enough or flexible enough or even coordinated enough. My biggest reservation is probably looking awkward or doing it wrong. Also, there are so many styles: Hatha, Vinyas, Ashtanga. It's confusing. Where does a complete beginner even start, and what should my mindset be? Maya. Your reservations are incredibly common, Sam, and I want to reassure you immediately. Yoga is not about pretzel-like flexibility, nor is it about looking a certain way. It's about meeting your body exactly where it is today without judgment. The very first principle for beginners is ahimsa, non-harming applied to yourself. Listen to your body, don't push through pain, and understand that progress is gradual. As for styles, for beginners I always recommend starting with Hatha Yoga or gentle Vinyas flow. Hatha focuses on holding postures for a few breaths, allowing you to understand alignment. Gentle Vinyas connects breath to movement but at a slower pace, building foundational strength. The mindset should be one of curiosity and self-compassion. Forget comparisons. This is your unique journey. What kind of physical activity are you currently engaged in? Sam. That's a huge relief to hear about not needing to be super flexible. My current physical activity is mostly brisk walking and some occasional weight training, so I'm used to controlled movements but not the stretching aspect. What are some of the fundamental benefits a beginner can realistically expect to experience, not just physically but mentally too? Maya. Excellent. Your existing physical awareness will certainly be an asset. Realistically, within just a few weeks of consistent practice, beginners often report a noticeable increase in flexibility and joint mobility, as well as improved balance and core strength. Physically, you'll likely feel more limber and less stiff. Mentally, the benefits are often profound. A significant reduction in stress and anxiety, enhanced focus and concentration, and a greater sense of calmness and emotional regulation. This is due to the emphasis on breathwork, pranayama, and mindfulness during the practice. Yoga helps quiet the incessant mental chatter. Have you noticed any specific areas where you feel you could use more flexibility or mental quietude? Sam. Definitely on both fronts. My hamstrings feel perpetually tight and my mind often races, especially before bed. The idea of enhanced focus really appeals to me. When it comes to actually doing yoga, what are some key postures or foundational poses that beginners should absolutely learn, and what are their primary benefits? Maya. Perfect. We'll start there. 3 foundational poses I always introduce to beginners are mountain pose, Tadasana, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and child's pose, Balasana. Mountain pose might seem simple, standing still, but it teaches fundamental alignment, grounding, and presence. It's the basis for all standing poses. Downward facing dog is a full body stretch that lengthens the spine, strengthens arms and legs, and calms the nervous system. It's a resting pose in dynamic sequences. Child's pose is a wonderful restorative posture that gently stretches the hips, thighs, and ankles while relieving stress and fatigue. It's your personal retreat space on the mat. We also teach basic sun salutations, Surya Namaskar, which link these poses into a flowing sequence. The key is understanding the alignment principles in these core postures, as they build the foundation for more complex ones. How do you feel about trying these out? Sam, they sound manageable, especially child's pose. That sounds very appealing for stress relief. What about breathing? I often hear about special yoga breathing, but it seems complicated. How important is it for beginners, and what's the simplest way to start incorporating it? Maya. Breathing, or pranayama, is not just important, Sam, it's the heart of yoga. Without conscious breath, it's just stretching. For beginners, the simplest and most profound way to start is with Ujjayi breath, victorious breath, often described as an oceanic sound. You breathe in and out through your nose, gently constricting the back of your throat, making a soft, audible whisper sound. This deep, controlled breathing calms the nervous system, builds heat in the body, and helps you link movement to breath seamlessly. It also provides a focal point for your mind, reducing distractions. Start by simply observing your natural breath, then gradually deepen and regulate it. Try inhaling for a count of 4, holding for a count of 2, and exhaling for a count of 6. This cultivates a calm, steady rhythm. Do you often notice your breath in daily life? Sam, not usually unless I'm really exerting myself. I can see how that mindful breathing could be a game changer for focus and calm. What are some common mistakes beginners make, and how can they avoid them to prevent injury or frustration? Great question. The most common mistakes are pushing too hard/too far, leading to injury, holding your breath, negating the mental benefits, and comparing yourself to others, leading to self-judgment and frustration. To avoid these, always prioritize comfort over depth in a pose. Something hurts, back off immediately. Remember to breathe continuously and consciously. And cultivate self-acceptance. Your yoga journey is entirely unique. Another mistake is neglecting proper warm-up before practice and cool down afterward. A good class will guide you through this, but if practicing alone, remember to prepare your body. Do you have any existing physical limitations or injuries I should be aware of? Sam, no significant injuries, thankfully, but I do have a bit of lower back stiffness from sitting all day. That's good advice about not pushing too hard. Beyond attending classes, how important is finding the right teacher? And what qualities should a beginner look for in an instructor or a studio? Maya. Finding the right teacher is incredibly important, Sam, especially for beginners. Look for an instructor who is certified, experienced, and emphasizes alignment rather than just performing complex poses. They should offer modifications and variations for different body types and abilities. A good teacher is patient, encouraging, and creates a welcoming, non-judgmental atmosphere. Read reviews, try introductory classes at different studios, or explore reputable online platforms. Trust your intuition. You should feel comfortable and supported. A good studio will also be clean, well-equipped, and have a clear focus on beginner-friendly options. What kind of learning environment do you prefer? Sam, I prefer a supportive and clear learning environment, definitely. That makes sense. What about integrating yoga into a busy schedule? How can someone maintain consistency when time feels like such a luxury? Maya, consistency truly is key, and it doesn't mean long daily sessions. Even 15 to 20 minutes a few times a week can yield significant benefits. The trick is to schedule it and treat it like any other important appointment. You could try practicing first thing in the morning to set a positive tone for the day, or in the evening to unwind. Online platforms offer immense flexibility, allowing you to practice from home at your convenience. You can also integrate micro moments of yoga throughout your day. Take a few deep Ujjayi breaths at your desk, or stretch mindfully during a break. It's about finding what's sustainable for your lifestyle. What's the easiest time for you to commit to even a short practice? Sam, mornings are usually chaotic, but evenings might work best for winding down. I like the idea of micro moments throughout the day too. What about the philosophical or spiritual aspects of yoga? Is that something beginners need to engage with, or can they just focus on the physical side? Maya, that's a thoughtful question, Sam. The beauty of yoga is its accessibility on multiple levels. For beginners, the primary focus can absolutely be on the physical postures, asana, and breath work, pranayama, to experience the tangible benefits for strength, flexibility, and stress reduction. You don't need to delve into the philosophical texts or spiritual dimensions right away, or ever if it doesn't resonate with you. However, you'll find that even purely physical practice naturally cultivates mindfulness, self-awareness, and a deeper connection to your body, which are inherently profound. Think of it as a path that reveals itself as you walk it. The philosophical aspects often emerge organically as you progress and become more curious. Sam, that's reassuring. I want to start with the physical and mental benefits, and if the other aspects resonate later, that's a bonus. What kind of props are essential for beginners, if any? Do I need a whole array of fancy equipment? Not at all, Sam. You certainly don't need a whole array of fancy equipment. For beginners, the most essential prop is a yoga mat to provide cushioning and prevent slipping. Beyond that, a yoga block or two, and a yoga strap can be incredibly helpful. Blocks aren't for people who are bad at yoga. They're for bringing the ground closer to you, supporting proper alignment, and making poses more accessible. A strap helps extend your reach in stretches, allowing you to deepen poses safely. These are generally inexpensive and widely available. You can even use household items like sturdy books instead of blocks or a belt instead of a strap in a pinch. The most important equipment is your body and breath. Sam, that's great news about the minimal equipment. What about the concept of modifications? How do I know when I should modify a pose, and what does that typically look like? Maya, modifications are fundamental to a safe and sustainable practice, Sam. You should always consider modifying a pose if you feel sharp pain, any strain in your joints, or if you simply can't breathe comfortably in a position. Modifications typically involve using props like blocks under your hands in downward dog, adjusting your stance, wider feet, bending your knees more deeply, or opting for a simpler version of a pose. For example, in plank you can drop your knees to the mat. In seated forward folds, you can keep a deep bend in your knees. A good instructor will demonstrate these variations. It's about finding the version of the pose that works for your body on that particular day. Every body is different and every day is different. Sam, that makes a lot of sense, listening to my body and not pushing through pain. It sounds like a truly individualized practice. What about accountability or support? Is there a benefit to practicing with others, or is solo practice just as effective for beginners? Maya, both group and solo practice have their unique benefits. For beginners, group classes, either in person or live online, offer invaluable guidance from an instructor who can provide real-time feedback and corrections. The communal energy can also be very motivating. However, solo practice at home is equally effective for building consistency and self-discipline. It allows you to explore at your own pace without comparison. Many find a hybrid approach ideal, a few classes a week for guidance, supplemented by shorter home practices. The most important thing is to find what keeps you coming back to the mat regularly. Sam, a hybrid approach sounds appealing. Maya, this has been incredibly clarifying and genuinely encouraging. I feel much less intimidated and genuinely excited to start. Thank you for demystifying yoga for me. My pleasure, Sam. Remember, the journey itself is the reward. Every time you step on the mat, you're making a profound investment in your well-being. Enjoy finding your flow. Narrator. What a genuinely encouraging and illuminating conversation between Maya and Sam. They expertly unpacked the often intimidating world of yoga for beginners, transforming it into an accessible and inviting pathway to holistic well-being. From demystifying common misconceptions and highlighting foundational postures to emphasizing the power of breath work, avoiding common pitfalls and finding the right support, their dialogue provided a comprehensive and compassionate roadmap for anyone ready to embark on this ancient practice. Their insights underscore that yoga is a deeply personal journey, offering profound benefits for body, mind, and spirit, irrespective of prior experience or physical prowess. Now, let's briefly engage with some key ideas from their discussion. Practice session 1. Beginner mindset. What is the primary mindset Maya suggests for a complete beginner approaching yoga? 2. Core poses. Name 2 foundational yoga poses recommended for beginners and briefly state a benefit of each. 3. Breathing. Maya emphasizes the importance of Ujjayi breath. What is one key benefit of practicing this type of breathing? 4. Avoiding mistakes. What is one common mistake beginners make and how can they avoid it according to Maya? Narrator. As Maya and Sam so beautifully demonstrated, yoga for beginners is not about achieving perfect postures, but about embracing a journey of self-discovery, one mindful breath and gentle movement at a time. It is an invitation to connect with your inner wisdom, cultivate resilience, and find moments of profound peace amidst the demands of modern life. By approaching it with curiosity, self-compassion, and consistency, you unlock a powerful tool for enhancing physical vitality and mental serenity. Remember, the mat is your sanctuary, and every practice is a step towards a more balanced and harmonious you. Until our next illuminating discussion on the English Learning Podcast, continue to explore, breathe deeply, and find your unique flow.